Well, it's the morning. I can't sleep anymore because my body doesn't allow me to sleep much past 6 o'clock. I got up at 5:30 and it is 6:25 right now, and I'm in Springdale, Arkansas. So you can kind of see on the old GPS there. So I've no messages in my inbox. My trailer is empty. I got empty last night. I pulled in, they unloaded the coils, and then I pulled over into the backside of their parking lot where they have parking and stayed the night. So I sent in my empty call. Let's see what time, because I have all this stuff down. Empty at 6:39 p.m. Yesterday, and so from it's basically been 11 hours, almost 12 hours now that I've been empty and no new load assignment or direction to head. So odds are, because anytime you're this close to Fort Smith, that's where they tell you to go. They'll say, hey, go ahead and head to Fort Smith, or you'll actually get a load assignment and it'll be Fort Smith. I think I don't know if it's dependent upon my fleet manager being in the office for me to get a load assignment, because I've received them before without my fleet manager being there, but this is basically 12 hours and no load assignment yet. And so I'm not sure exactly how that's one. I did sit in at the Madison yard and see them working, but I'm not sure exactly time frames for load assignments in specific areas, because I know after I guess you would call them regular duty hours, there are still people working, but I don't know if they're necessarily the people that give our load assignments, because traditionally we as flatbedders only usually drive pretty much daytime, because a lot of the places we deliver don't accept deliveries outside of normal working hours. Some do. I mean, like the operation I'm at right now is a 24-hour-a-day company, and they receive and ship 24 hours a day. So I mean, there are exceptions out there. I'm facing east, so you may see the sunrise. I don't know if I'll be talking that long. But, so, I mean, it's what's going through my mind. See, my mouth hasn't warmed up yet since it's been awake, so it might take a little bit longer for me to enunciate my words, get my muscles warmed up to all this talking. But in my mind, I could probably leave right now and just drive to Fort Smith and be safe in that assumption. But knowing my luck, the way my luck goes, I would be heading to Fort Smith and they'd actually give me an assignment someplace else. I don't see that happening. I think what's going to happen is they're going to maybe around 7, maybe even 8 o'clock, I'll get an assignment, or just a message saying, hey, go ahead and head to the Fort Smith yard. And typically what happens is if you don't receive an assignment, you just receive a message, you get there, and then after you arrive, you end up getting your work assignment. And sometimes that's only after you've sent them a message saying, hey, I'm here, now what? So no matter how efficient I guess I was yesterday, it may be my efficiency today may be hindered. So I'm trying to imagine worst case scenario. Oh, my eyes are leaking. It's not that bad. Worst case scenario is I'm going to sit here until about, I don't know, 7 or 8 o'clock, get a message or an assignment and tell me to go to Fort Smith, and I'll get to Fort Smith and they'll give me a load assignment, and it may not load until like 12 noon. But you gotta take into account that the miles from Springdale to Fort Smith are deadhead miles, and I may show up just in time to get that 12 o'clock noon load. So it's all in perspective. Ideally, if I would have got a message last night, because I'd be on the road. Ideally, if I would have got a message last night saying, hey, when you're empty, go ahead and head to Fort Smith, I could be heading there, and in fact, I'd almost be at the Fort Smith yard now. And they have facilities for drivers, showers, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, even if they didn't give me a load right away, like if I had to wait an hour or so, I mean, I can take a shower, do laundry, that kind of thing. But since they didn't, I just get to sit here and wait and not know. I think the not knowing is the mentally difficult part, because as most drivers do, we want to keep moving, or at least head in a direction in which we're going to be needed to go. So, anyway, that's my report for this morning. It looks like it's going to be a nice clear day. I mean, you can... That object in the window is not a star. It's actually a reflection of a blue LED light. But the sky is clear. The sun is rising. Planes are taking off in the background. And it should be a pretty good day. It is Thursday. And tomorrow's Friday. So, crossing fingers, I end up there. I can see trucks are pulling in from Maverick. They're in the process of unloading, so they're constantly unloading, and the reason I point out that there are trucks here unloading is because this is, we like to get started early, 5 or 6 o'clock, and so we're starting our day, so I can finish my day. If I were to wait to start my clock until I actually got some kind of communication. I've already sent in a message this morning at a little bit after 5 saying, hey, should I head to Fort Smith? And I got a reply back saying, we don't see any information on you heading to Fort Smith, and that they would pass it on to my fleet manager. So here I sit, and the later I start my clock, the later I could drive, right? But I don't like to drive late. Like I've pointed out many times before, finding parking after 7 o'clock at night becomes more difficult the longer the time exceeds 7 p.m. And if you're in Texas, if it's after 5 o'clock, you probably won't find parking. But, so, I try to avoid driving late at night when possible. And so I guess this would be not necessarily a pro. I don't know if it's necessarily a con, but your work hours may vary from day to day, and sometimes by quite a bit. So, we shall see. But I've got videos. It's nothing like getting to a shipper or receiver and being able to watch an entire Lord of the Rings movie while waiting to be unloaded or loaded or get a load assignment. So, anyway, that's it for now. Time to hit harsh shadows. Well, it's 7:56 and the sun. So they said head to Fort Smith at 7:55, which is what I thought they were going to do. And then at 7:56, wait a minute, we're changing plans. Sending you UWA for pickup. I don't know what WA means. Sending you with assignment.
Attention, a new important message has arrived.
Yeah,
You have one unread message, point 3 of 3.
So,
2 of 2.
if they were gonna send me to Fort Smith, they could have given me that message last night. But, let's see. So I'm picking up something here and taking it to Fort Smith. We'll see how it's really hard to, harsh shadow, trying to stay in it or part way all the way in it. Gotta get out of here. Alright, just catching a quick glimpse of what I'm still strapping down. I had to back into this door. I strapped one strap so I can pull out and finish it. Got a lot. I'm only going 66 miles with this. So we'll see. I'm going to put some block chains in front of them because they're slippery, full of cutting oil. It takes them 4 days to make one of these. Then I got a bunch more straps to put on each one, so I don't want it to go anywhere. And it's sunny out, but I've got to tarp it for a 66-mile journey. 25 bucks. All right, I thought I'd give you a shot of it before I cover this up because I've never hauled this before. And so it is 9:20. It's only 66 miles to deliver this load, but it's I will get short mileage pay, which means if I drive less than 300 miles, I get, I don't know how much. I can't remember if I get 300 miles worth of mileage for a short mileage run. I'll have to find out. Plus $25 because I got to tarp this. But anyway, each one is 11,000 pounds. So I put 3 securements on it. That's 24,000 pounds worth of securement value. And I also put trip chains and blocks. I tried to put a coil pad between the blocks and the product, but it doesn't work. It's too short of a gap to cram the coil pads in there. So I put blocks and chains, and I did that on each one. So initially when they put these on, I was asking them questions because I'd never done this before and was asking for suggestions. But they were just, I had 2 long timbers on, and they set it down in there, and it was like, had play in there to where it would roll back and forth. I said, that's not going to work. So I pulled out some short boards and used them as a spacer on the other side to close the gap, so they actually rest on the timber themselves, so they're not rolling on the deck. And so they had 2 on, and they just kept loading them while I was setting up stuff. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! You got to let me put these timbers in there, and so they had to pick 2 of them back up so I could put timber in there, and we got it all straightened out. And they helped me put on 1 strap on each one of them, and then I said I'd pull out so they could close the door. I guess it takes 4 days to make one of these, and I got, now I get to tarp it. I just thought I'd show you what I've got going on before it gets all covered up, because it's kind of interesting.